What is up, everybody? Chris Dailey here from the Sports Court, and today we have kind of a different episode. So as you could tell, way am I facing? So that's our usual setup over there with the microphone and everything. But we decided to change it up today and film over here. So if you like it, let me know in the comments. If you don't know who I am, I'm Chris Dailey from the Sports Court, www.thesportscourtblog.com, @the.sportscourt on Instagram, @TSC2020 on Twitter. Go follow us, check it out, all linked in the description. Now, as you probably know, the recent news that the Ncaa, primarily basketball is why they're doing this too, is allowing college athletes not to be paid by the schools, but to be endorsed by other brands. So, say Trevor Lawrence, or let's say a basketball player, coming in right now, could technically be sponsored by Nike, as long as the school does not get any money out of it. So I bet you that's going to cause some allegations in the future, as we already have a few allegations on all of this already with paying players to come to the school. Rick Pitino, how you doing? But Rick, if you ever want an interview, let me know. That's a dream interview. Read a few books about you. I think you deserve your say too in all of this. So Rick, if you want to come on the show, let me know. Email me and DM me, whatever. And so here are my thoughts on this topic. My whole thing is, first off, you may hate what I'm about to say, but the Ball family is honestly the main reason and why this has all happened. When you say LeVar Ball has not changed college basketball, he has changed college basketball. LeVar Ball has single-handedly changed the course of college basketball and college athletics, in fact, forever. With the starting the JBA, which was kind of the first ever, hey, look, we're an American league. We'll pay players to pay in our league instead of going to college, after high school, come to us. That was the first one. Not many people did. I don't think the only big name that really got was his own two sons, LaMelo Ball. Some, guys did succeed from that league, but to be honest with you, that was the starting point of all of this. From that, the NCAA all of a sudden got a little worried. The NBA G League said, hey, we're missing out on something. The NBA as a whole, really did. And instead of doing that whole, you can come from high school, they said, you know what, you can come from high school to the G League, $500,000. I'm pretty sure it's only a minimum of 6 spots, a maximum, of 6 spots. I think some players may get less money depending on their high school ranking and the ESPN 100 or whatever. So it's something like that. I know for a fact though it's max, not only a certain number of players can do it. So that's the first thing, but they're getting paid $500,000 out of high school, which is appealing to these, a lot of these high school kids nowadays. So my thought on this is what I just said. I mean, they have single-handedly changed the game of volleyball. So bravo to him, pat on the back, whatever you want to call it. And do I think it's the right move? That's a whole nother story. I don't know if giving these kids the opportunity, I want to say it is, because I've been such a believer for the longest time, and now that it finally happens, I start to second guess myself and say, is this actually a good move though? When I really look at it for the kids, first off, it takes away the amateurism of the actual sport, and secondly, it's first off, I'm glad they just don't pay the kids altogether. It's alright, you can pay. I'm glad it's endorsed deals. So, because if they pay the kids all together, it's the football kids are making more money than the tennis or, water polo kids, and they're going to be saying, hey, we deserve the money too. We are competing, we're putting our bodies, physically on the line, and we're student athletes, so we deserve to be paid the same. So, I mean, you can make the case and argument that, well, they track higher attendance, but I don't think that would be fair by any means. I think, it depends, but, it's and also, when it comes to college football, the people are there to see Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. They're not just, I'm sorry, but those guys are probably getting paid higher than the third-string quarterback. So, some position guy that nobody really knows about. And I don't know if this is the right move. Takes away the amateurism, as I said. I think it's like too much too soon a bit. I don't think they even planned it out too well. It was kind of like, you know what it reminds me of, and I'm going to tell you now, even though it's a bit of a different circumstance, it reminds me of the Alliance of American Football League, which kind of just rushed it and said, well, the XFL is on our back. Let's get this out here. Let's get this out here as quickly as possible. Let's try to make some new rules, new technologies, or whatever, which is exactly what the NCAA is doing right now. And as you know, the AAF failed. It miserably failed. I mean, what can I say? I'm not going to try to be nice and say, well, it didn't go as planned, didn't go as expected. No, the problem is they didn't plan the league. Just like, is the NCAA really planning this? Because to be honest with you, the NCAA has been so reluctant on putting money into their athletes' hands for years, and then all of a sudden, after 2 weeks, after some of the top recruits go over to the NBA G League for basketball, the number 1 recruit in the nation, by the way, and then I think like a top 10, another top 15 recruit, and like another top 30 recruit, all went. 3 went to the G League, took that $500,000 and went, and all of a sudden the NCAA is like, well, you know what? You get endorsed. And to be quite honest with you, if I'm a number 1 recruit, I know for a fact, I could be making more money playing college basketball now than the NBA G League. But these guys can't just go back and turn around. It's already happened. If I'm personally a top recruit in the country, I would be going to college. It's my opinion. I think going to college, one, is better. I feel like it's kind of the progression, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of the natural thing to do. That's what I would most likely do. I mean, $500 at the end of the day, it's not like $50 million, $70 million that Zion Williamson's getting in the NBA. So maybe you take that year and, of course, the risk of getting injured, but if you get sponsored and endorsed, you could be making a lot more money than $500,000. I can tell you that much. Given now that they are in the NBA G League, though, which I didn't even think of until now, was they can get endorsed. But I would say, as a brand, I would rather endorse, like if I'm the owner of Cheerios or something, I would rather endorse the top college athlete than the top G League athlete. It's just a fact. The top college athlete is being looked at by a lot of more Americans than the top G League athlete. And, I think G League guys might be looked at a bit more now because of this. But at the same time, it's just, people are going to be watching NCAA. I don't think this is really going to take away from the views of the NCAA. People aren't going to turn away from college basketball now because of this. So I think it was a bit too rushed. I think they should have planned it out. Maybe, done a bit more research. I think it was the move they had to make, though, the NCAA. They had no other choice. And at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to do things, and you got to go all in. You got to go all out on stuff. So I'm not trying to contradict myself, too, by saying that, like, don't get me wrong here. Like, I still stick to my opinion. It's just maybe, that probably was right. They probably had to do it. They probably had to go now. So it's always a tough situation, always a tough call. That's my personal opinion. That's my thoughts on this whole college athletes being paid. Anyways, everybody, I'm Dailey from the Sports Court. I'm signing off. I'll see y'all later. Peace. Deuces.